This evening I felt pulled to talk about growth. And in more so, in an effort to share, I wanted to reflect a little bit on my own journey of growing. In an effort to show that there are possibilities for any of us. And I think the most elemental piece in growth is setting an intention. I had my struggles throughout my life, and one of them being anxiety and another being ADD, and went through the medical system and prescription medications, and a lot of it centered for me around self-destructive patterns, dysregular emotions, and the inability to regulate them. And there came a time, of course, when I had my first pregnancy, that I realized I needed to take some steps for myself to start examining a different way to help myself. And the intention was for me to beat anxiety. I took myself off of my anxiety medication, of all things, in that effort, because for me personally, going through the years of working with the medical system, and for the most part, the only offerings I had was to increase my dosage. And I felt as though, as much as I really wanted to feel some change, I agreed to increase my dosage, but it wasn't evaluated whether or not I was actually getting any better. And so, of course, I would go back and describe what I was experiencing, and I internalized it that, of course, because of the offering from my doctor, was to increase my dosage. And slower and slower, it felt as though I was losing the ability to be in touch with myself even more. So I thought, what do I have to lose? I have this motivation here, this gift of being able to bring a child into the world, and not knowing what medications could do to the pregnancy or my baby. I decided to use that intention to propel me forward on my journey, to try and find some ease and to find a way to grow. I started out experimenting with things like acupuncture, affirmations, and a lot of research to try to better understand myself. And thanks to having technology increase the way that it has, and people sharing their stories, I was quickly able to find more resources, even more so than I was ever able to with the medical system. And so I continued to set these intentions to find ease, to find growth, to find answers. And slowly, I did. And for me, it was listening in and finding what resonated for me, and it was taking small steps of action, little changes in my life, through my diet, through my environment, through the products I used. A lot of people are always speaking these days about the power of making these environmental changes for ourselves. And I also think it's important to respect that we can take matters into our own hands to better and give to our inner environment as well. And what that means for me is to enter into a path of self-healing, which is to ask ourselves more what we need to find happiness and to heal past pains and traumas. these days I am quickly realizing how many people, if not everybody, has a story of something that perhaps was hard to process throughout their lives, no matter what the scale of severity. And I'm here to kind of give the message that although it can feel like an extremely hard thing to overcome at times, and I see the struggles of the people who try to go through the medical system, and I applaud those who it works for, but considering the fact that our medical system at this stage right now is not as supportive as it really could be, I thought I'd give examples on how other ways that we could offer support to ourselves, especially when we could, self-empower ourselves to feel like there is possibilities within us to find resources. And there are a lot of different modalities that people can test out these days. There is the holistic approach through naturopaths, and there's a lot of meditation and yoga offerings these days. And for me personally, they allowed me to not only take steps to heal enough to feel at ease on this journey of becoming a mother, and as well with the intention to help myself, it helped propel me towards other things that I don't know if I would have been able to find if I didn't actually put the steps in place to take this journey. And in full reflection, every little step along the way was growth. It was having those moments where I would be curious about, I wonder what happened if I, did this or that for myself. And it wasn't always easy to check in at times, but it was easier as time went on. I don't think it's true that we could say that there's anything within our healing journey that can be quick. And I think that sometimes when we're really struggling, we just want something quick to take that pain away. And sometimes it is necessary to be able to allow the process to be as it is, instead of push it away or fight the idea that some effort needs to be made. But in a more positive light, there is a lot of ease when you can take those steps for yourself and look back and see the small progresses that you have made. And also along the way, you can find many little gifts, things that you might not have known about yourself, new joys, new areas that one can dive into. And just in one short reflection, I know there was a point in my relationship where my husband looked at me and said, you don't really have a passion right now, or it was, kind of for a long time. I don't really know if I had any huge passions even when we first met, like something that was, just something that I was always excited to do. He's a very big enthusiast on RC cars and computer games, and I at that time was just kind of living through life, working, watching TV, hanging out with friends. And he was right. When we're able to dig into our passions, we even have that extra edge to finding, ways to help ourselves through our passions, through our joys, through exploration into other things that can be fun for us. So I really I guess it really comes down to this internal desire I have to try to help support people in, especially those who feel like they're not sure what else they can do. Because I don't think we ever felt like we had a chance to do things for ourselves. I don't think it was shown as an opportunity. And I really think that it's something that we can all consider for ourselves, because who knows us better than ourselves? And that was something I recognized working with the doctors is, there was always this trying to put me in a box or put me under a label. And don't get me wrong, the labels have surely helped me along the way to understand things, but they're still just terms, they're generalities, they're expressions to try to indicate. So there is this extra ability for us to use these terms and look deeper within ourselves and explore. And I definitely don't feel as though if you feel like you're truly struggling, try and find the help. But from a video I saw just even today from a lady on TikTok who had just gone to the emergency room. She had borderline personality disorder and was feeling down enough that she wasn't sure if she could make it through the day. And when she went to the ER, she asked for help and they completely turned her away. And she made a video crying her eyes out because she said, "I'm not sure what else to do." And that really got to me because I wish I could reach more people to tell them that if you're struggling, I completely understand how, maybe not completely, but I can understand enough how hard it feels to try to come out of that hole, especially to think about, oh, I'm going to have to help myself. But what if it could be, oh, I have a chance to help myself? Just want to give that idea that growth for ourselves can happen. And there are a lot of resources out there to help you to not feel so alone. Because yes, it can feel so frustrating when the system that we have been fed that, when you're not feeling good, go to the doctor and get an answer and get help. But for those who truly struggle and they don't find that help, it can make things worse. And if there's anyone out there feeling that, I am sending you love and hoping that something in my message can support you in that journey in whatever regard is best for you. So there's no easy answer to tell anyone where to start except for start. Try anything. Just never stop trying. I can fully attest to that being the glue that held me together. Was I'm just never gonna stop trying. Never. And I still have my days, but that's still my motto. I'm just gonna keep trying. And I hope you can too. Thanks for listening.